What's going on, y'all? Just fucking around with y'all. What's going on, y'all? We are back with another review. I hope y'all doing good. I hope everything's smooth. Damn, my hair look crazy. What the fuck? I hope y'all feeling good. Hope y'all having a great day. You know what I'm saying? Today we have a X-Men 97 review. Um, yeah. This show, my one thought about this show before we get into a review is very interesting. The show is very interesting. The layout of this show is gonna the layout of this review is gonna be really different from how I review a lot of other shows because this one has a very it's a very strange concept. And I'm gonna just go ahead and get into what I mean instantly so there's no confusion. I'm gonna be reviewing season 1 of X-Men 97 and season 2 of X-Men 97 separately. They're gonna be in the same video, they are. But the X-Men 97 season 1 and season 2 I feel are two completely different viewing experiences and not in a good way. And I really don't want to diminish the quality of season 7. I mean, season 1, um, by harping too long on my thoughts and opinions on season 2. Spoiler alert, I did not like season 2. I'm gonna be honest, I did not like it. It was a bore to get through. I'm gonna be honest, not spoiler alert, I'm sorry. But I love season 1. So let's start off with season 1. Let's get into my thoughts and opinions on season 1. Um, yeah. First things first, a little backstory. I went and rewatched the entirety of the animated series, the 90s cartoon X-Men, because I heard that this was like a direct sequel. And something about me, I can't do spin-offs unless I see the sequel. No matter how like modern it is, no matter how old the original is, I can't do that. Like it feels weird to me, you know what I'm saying? And so I just really wanted context. I wanted to make sure I went in with 100% understanding of sort of how this show kind of runs. And we're gonna get into that in a second, but yeah. First things first, there's one thing I want to harp on first, and it revolves around the first like 10 seconds or the first 5 minutes of of season 1, which is C- Cyclops. That might be one of the swaggiest introductions, one of the swaggiest character intros I've seen from a live action or cartoon character in a very long time. That's the first thing I want to say. The respect the amount of respect they give their underrated characters, I have to give them nothing but applauses. The way these niggas were able to rewrite Cyclops' PR in the span of one episode, like, is ridiculous. I gotta get into that. Like, they had my nigga looking like he was Swag Man 3000, and I gotta get out and get them props for that. Shout out to them niggas for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Now let's get into my second real praise of the show, which is the animation. The animation of the show does a really good job of modernizing it, adding its own. It's like it does a really good job of taking the 90s, the 90s era TV cartoons, modernizing it and adding its own spin to it, and it works really well. There isn't a single scene where I don't like. There wasn't a single visual scene I didn't like from this show so far. The only show I could think of from modern animation that looks better than this is probably Arcane, and it's a close battle. It just really depends on preference, but I think Arcane might like have this beat. But other than that, I can't think of a cartoon I've watched recently in the last like 7 years that looks as good as this show. This is a very beautiful looking show. That's one thing you won't get out of it, no matter what. The visuals look really good. Um, the next praise I give this show is basically the 90s TV show does something where its plot every season isn't revolved around one big bad or building to one big problem. There's how they do character driven episodes and then they do plot forwarding. I mean, they do like arcs. So in one season you'll get like the Phoenix Saga arc where for like 5 episodes straight they're dealing with one main problem, whether it's Phoenix Force, whether it's Apocalypse, whether it's them being on Savage being on Savage Land, where they're dealing with the Morlocks. Like you have continuation episodes, back to back episodes, shit like that. But on the other hand, in the season, you'll have episodes that are strictly character driven, that don't really forward the plot or don't serve some overarching story for a season or series. It's just for a specific character going through experiencing some sort of plot or some sort of problem or something like that. Now this season flips it on its head, and instead it does full season of one to two overarching problems, but they still give you character driven episodes as well in the form, you know what I'm saying? So what I mean is out of I hope I'm getting the numbers wrong, but I think there's 10 episodes of this show or nine, something like that. I know it's nowhere to 10. You get I want to say you get 7 purely narrative driven episodes, which is there to drive the overall narrative of the season. Then you get two episodes that are like filler. I mean, you get two episodes that are half filler, half narrative filling. So you get some character art, you get some character, the heavy character moments, but they still devote, like at some point they still continue the plot of the season. And you get one single episode that's purely filler, which doesn't really forward the narrative of the plot, which is the Jubilee episode when they're dealing with I always forget his name, Mojo or some shit. I don't remember, but yeah, I really like the way they did that. It helps modernize that, like the TV show, because back in the day there wasn't heavy, like plot heavy type TV shows because it's for kids, but now we're trying to, like, I'm saying, they're giving us more to work with because they can handle it, and I think it works for that. I love the emotion of the show. It's not even, there's so many moments where you genuinely feel what the characters are feeling, not just see episode 5 when, shout out my nigga Gambit, what I'm saying, whether it's Magneto going through what he's experiencing, and like he does his amazing monologue in episode 2. We're gonna, speaking of monologues, we're gonna get into that in a second. Whether it's Magneto doing his monologue during his trial, whether it's Gambit going through what he's going through with old girl and him, um whether it's a simple moment with Scott trying to help Jean deliver her baby, but the doctor won't let her. It's so many moments in season 1 where you truly feel the emotion of the show, and I really commend them on that, because nowadays it's very hard to get your audience to buy in to what you're selling, and they do it really well. One thing I could really respect this season for, or season 1 of the show for, is how beginner friendly it is. The show does a really good job of, since it is a continuation of the previous series, it hinges on a lot of moments that you would only know about if you watch the TV show, I mean the cartoon, or if you read the comics. So on one hand, it's a homage slash respect to the reader who did the homework, which isn't homework, but if they did the homework and watch the show or the comics, they get to see these cool Easter eggs. They get to know what's going on in a lot of these references. But it also does a really good job of being its own separate entity, in which it's very beginner friendly. Anyone can literally start episode 1, and they will be, by episode like 3, they'll be able to catch the flow of the show for the most part. So I do fuck with that a lot. I fuck with that a lot, for sure, for sure. I really like it. Um, the pacing of the show, season 1, where I'd say it's pretty well done. I say it's pretty well done. I think it does the best it can. With, at the end of the day, you have such a large cast of characters. It's understandable if you're not able to really give everyone the screen time they need, give everyone the moments they need. It does a really good job of just overall um pushing the plot forward, not being too slow, not being too fast, letting moments linger, letting scenes linger, letting actions linger, while also still keeping you engaged in terms of the story. So I think that's really well done as well. Um I really liked the villain of this season. I think Bastion is a great villain. I think that he represented I like how he's like, his whole perspective is being like the new mutant, and sort of the amalgamation of the average human's fears, and putting inflicting them fears, making the nonsense that the humans fears over the mutants into a fear, or actual real fear in Sebastian, and then inflicting that fear onto the mutants. I think that was really well done. I really did enjoy Sebastian overall. It was great. I really like the action of this as well. I really like the action of the show. The action, there's so many great action moments, action sequences, so many great team up moments. I love it. I love it. I love it. Really great what they did there. I want to really take a moment of silence episode 2 of X-Men, and episode 5 of X-Men 97 season 1. Those two episodes are so amazing. Two episodes are some of the greatest episodes I've ever watched. They are amazing episodes. They are so, my jaw was on the floor. My jaw was on the floor, episode 5 and episode 2. Episode 2 did such a amazing, like, just really, like, really did a great job depicting Magneto. Like, it really, they wrote Magneto so well in episode 2, and him trying to change, him really getting able to really finally explain his sentiments, and finally able to explain his perspective, and really get his perspective off his chest about why he acts the way he acts, why he feels the way he feels, and why he thinks the way he thinks towards the human race. And not only is that entire moment just amazing, then we get the moment where Magneto finally like he's like, okay, kitty gloves off. I'm gonna let y'all know y'all tell y'all about yourselves. And it's just so well done because it's like he's trying, bro. This nigga's trying so hard to just be the better person, but it's like fuck these niggas, bro. And then he gets you with the banger line, which is I'm trying to be better, don't make me let you down. Banger of a quote, amazing quote, 10 out of 10 chef's kiss. And in episode 5 of X-Men, I want to like kill the writer, not only because he's a weirdo, but because he killed my nigga Leech. Leech is my nigga. Like Leech is my guy, bro. That's my little nigga, bro. And they really killed my little nigga off. But I mean, the way them niggas really came in and just ripped your heart out of your socket every minute of that episode, it's just from the action standpoint, the action is amazing. But from an emotional standpoint, it's like these for so many years, these niggas have built this utopia. They're finally happy. And it's like we still will never be able to just be left fucking alone. And it's like you actually see that these niggas didn't pussyfoot around and they were willing to show the scale and really show the damage and really show like what like the fucking carnage that these niggas that were pushed onto them niggas. And it was like, wow, bro, wow, what an episode, what an episode. Magneto has such tender moments with Lee. I mean, so many tender moments in that episode, but specifically when he's in the little magnetic bubble talking about, please don't be afraid, child of Leech. But Leech is like, guys, don't be afraid. Magneto promised us. It's just like, oh my God, I want to cry every time I watch that episode, bro. I want to cry every time I watch that episode, bro. Like, God, I can't write a better episode than that. But yeah. Another good thing about this show is how like the fucking dialogue of this show. There are so many quotable moments in this show. There's so many like just not 50 of them is probably for Magneto. I ain't even gonna glaze Magneto too hard. They made that nigga. We talking about Cyclops getting the craziest swag or lob all the time. Nigga, they gave this nigga Magneto the craziest lob. Every single line he was spitting was pure bars. This nigga was hooping. I loved it, bro. There's so many quotable lines in in this series that first of all, to me, my X-Men, pure fucking swag. What Magneto is, his entire monologue during the trial, his entire monologue when they're in space is amazing. Oh my God, every single episode was some fucking bangers, nigga. I have nothing but respect for sure, for sure. Nothing but respect. Oh, like Gambit talking to Nightcrawler when they're at Genosha. He's talking about like every single line Gambit talks speaks is a fucking bar as well. Nightcrawler is dropping 24/7 bars talking about if your heart's full of sin, like the best love is like the heart full of sin, some shit like that. Like, bro, there's so many great lines in this show. I gotta like, I ain't gonna lie. Like for season one, some critiques I have of season one are first things first. The first thing I noticed, especially being so fresh off of my rewatch of the '90s cartoon, the first thing I noticed within like 5 minutes is the voice acting. There are two characters in specifics whose voices I cannot stand. And I don't mean that just like shout out to the voice actor. It's all respect, all love. There's no shade, no beef. Voice actor, and Jubilee's voice actor. And I want to get into both of them separately. Let's get into Rogue first. Now, with context, I understand that the same voice actor that voice acted her in the 90s as her now, so it's not some like random person, it's her, you know. I respect the cause, you know what I'm saying? And I completely understand people are okay with that because they just want to show her love for writing a good character, respect. Me personally though, I was not truly fucking with that shit. Like I wasn't fucking with it. The original Rogue sounds such like she just sounds like a trailer park country girl, like a true authentic trailer park country girl. Rogue now sounds like a white Hollywood woman doing an impression of a country girl. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's because maybe because I'm from the South, or maybe because it's just so fresh. I can pick up on the difference, but it's very, 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 very easy to pick out like the vocal difference. I mean, the just overall difference in her accent, her tone, and I mean, just the tone because people can have different voices even if you're from the country, but just the tone. Over, I mean, the accent itself is just really weird. It's really really weird. I didn't enjoy that at all. Even like currently, I still don't. But respect to the voice actor of Rogue. No shade, like you know what I'm saying. I get it. But it took me out a lot of her scenes. Let's get into Jubilee. Same with Jubilee. I'm not too sure if the modern Jubilee is the one from the comics. I mean, from the cartoon as well. But what I will say is I do not like current Jubilee's voice. I did enjoy the cartoons version of the Jubilee's voice. Like, at the end of the day, Jubilee is supposed to be this young teen, young free-spirited teen. I get the idea in my head, like she's a regular white American girl. I think she's Asian, right? I think she's like Asian. I'm not sure. Whatever she is, very like Americanized girl in the city, like boom, boom, boom. Like that's her vibe. Like I get her accent. It just feels like she got Gen Zified. And if you really want to know what I mean, like go to like the average Disney movie, like the average like 2025 and up Disney movie, maybe even 2024. Whatever movie has a young Gen Z era, young age, like that type girl, listen to her voice and then come back and listen to the current Jubilee. It feels like once again we're just doing this sort of like Gen Zifying, this depiction of what Gen Z girls or Gen Z people sound like. I really didn't enjoy Jubilee's voice. It's like her voice is literally perfect in the cartoon in the 90s cartoon, but this one is just not good to me. It took me out of scenes as well. The fact that X-Men 97 is a continuation of the 90s show hurts it just as much as it makes it good. And let me get into what I mean. Because this is a continuation and it's not a direct one-to-one continuation, which means storylines aren't 100% transferred over, there are a lot of character arcs that have to be repeated, and it really annoys me because there's 5 seasons, 5 years worth of different character development, character arcs, and just character moments where these people were able to mature, but they don't get to transfer over because not everybody saw it. They have to redo it. First, there's two of them for sure I got to get into. The fucking first one. First one I have is the triangle with Wolverine, Logan, and Jean. If you watch the cartoon, if you have any true recollection of of that series, that triangle lasts for the entire show. But there are at least 2 moments towards the end of this. First of all, Wolverine has like 6 different arcs in this in the original X-Men show where he's going through self-acceptance, trying to find himself, coming to terms with who he is and coming to terms and trying to grow as a person. If you add on that versus the multiple scenes in which Wolverine literally has to experience the fact that Jean will never truly love him and she's in love with Cyclops, and the fact that there are at least I really don't want to lie, I think there's at least 2 moments where Wolverine literally like truly admits to himself and he's able to grow from the fact that it's over and he can finally move on. It really frustrates me that we have these moments, but they don't transfer over. So all of these interesting 5 seasons worth of moments don't transfer over, which means now we have to relive annoying borderline, not even borderline, very creepy love triangle, not even a love triangle because they're done. Borderline obsessive, creepy moments from Logan, which is so annoying because Logan is so much more complex, and Logan has so many more love interests he could be actually exploring. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we're doing all these homages and all these fucking references to the comics. It's like, why aren't we going that far? The fun fact is, there's in the 90s cartoon, Logan has multiple moments of being interested in other women. But the problem is, they erase all that so you can get back with Jean. When Jean doesn't want this nigga anymore, leave her alone. That shit is creepy, my nigga. Let's get into a huge problem of mine, which is Rogue Magneto. I understand. Please don't come in the comments talking about, well, actually, they actually have been in a relationship about 2 times in the comics, one in 1953 and one in 1973, so it's actually pretty canon. I respect the homage. Shut the fuck up. I get at the end of the day, I love the homage. I love the homage, like all these cool moments, and I love the cool references, and I love the storylines that are being that they're taking comic book storylines and just putting them into the show, and I really respect and love that. But some moments just don't have to be adapted, especially if they're weird, creepy. They're not there for a true thematic reason, and if they don't push the story forward. You're showcasing a very weird, inappropriate, and just overall uninteresting storyline just for shock value, especially if it doesn't go anywhere. It's like, what the point was all of that? What was the point of all of that in the first place? Having Gambit have to get cucked out to Magneto for no reason is so fucking weird, especially if it didn't go anywhere. I don't understand why they did that. And my biggest gripe with this overall is if you watch the 90s cartoon, that there's not a single moment where they ever allude. You know how many times Rogue and Magneto like either fight, are next to each other, battle each other, look at each other, and just like overall are in the same space, but they never allude to Rogue and him ever having some sort of romantic connection. So it's like for you guys to then come in and retcon it and be like, oh yeah, it actually was before the events of the show. They actually had a secret relationship that no one knew about. It's like, shut the fuck up. You niggas, I'm not that dumb and I'm not going for it. It's creepy, it's weird, and it's like if you're not gonna give me a better explanation, don't put it in. And now we can get into the actual problem about like then we can get into the sort of like actual negative impacts about this sort of relationship and handling it so bad. At the end of the day, you can use art to tell not just positive, but you can use art to tell negative stories, tell negative, inappropriate things. But you shouldn't be emboldening it. You shouldn't be using it as a way to have some fantasy. There should be a theme. There should be a reasoning as to why you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's bad or good, there should be some sort of, whether you're demonizing it, whether you're critiquing it, whether you're using it as an allegory, whether whether you're using it in an ironic way. You shouldn't just have this dynamic for no reason. This dynamic, first of all, is grooming. It's very inappropriate from the first part, from a sort of a power imbalance standpoint. Magneto is a grown ass man. Rogue was just kicked out of her family, just kicked out of her home. She's looking for a place she's looking for a new family, and the guy who's supposed to be training her and teaching her how to grow into herself is grooming her, and there's no sort of implications from anybody. There's no sort of mention of that anywhere from any single character in that show, which is very strange to me, especially a nigga like Charles Xavier. It's like, what the fuck, nigga? Did you know this? Did you not know this? What the fuck is going on here? You never read her mind? That shit's weird. Another problem I have is just it doesn't go into depth. Another problem with the fact that the sequel thing I was mentioning earlier, I don't think that season 1 of 97 did a good enough job of truly going into depth about why this really, like, why Rogue really chose Magneto. I understand there are a couple moments I can't feel the conversation with Remy where she says I can't feel you. I think there's like one moment during like when they're at the little party where Rogue is reminiscing on the fact that she can't, like, she's reminiscing on human touch. And I think there might be one more between Cyclops and Jean. So about three real references. But if you compare that to the 90s TV show again, which is a continuation, so I'm going to do that. When you compare that to the 90s TV show, there are so many moments. Like one of Rogue's biggest character moment, like one of Rogue's biggest things is that she's battling with isolation. She's battling with she yearns for physical touch. She yearns like she dreams of it. There's so many moments where she's talking to herself, where she's talking to her friends, where she's thinking about the fact that she can never touch anyone every single time. Like there's so many moments where she looks at Jean and Scott kiss and she's like, I wish I could have that. There's a full-on episode where there's multiple, but there's a full-on episode, I think it's like within the first 2 seasons, where Rogue she goes to see, I think it's Moira. No, I forget who it was, but there's a Apocalypse is hiding as a super genius that could take away mutations, and Rogue literally leaves the X-Men to go try to lose her powers because she wants to feel people. She's tired of feeling alone, right? There's just so many moments where Rogue, like, they're like, it's ju- it the 90s TV show does a great job of really pushing that story about how integral like physical touch is and how lonely she is and how long it's been, because it's 5 seasons. I don't know how many years it's been throughout the show, but you know what I mean? Like it just really is a real thing. In this show, I just don't think they do a good enough job portraying that aspect of Rogue to where it feels like it's truly understandable that she's longing for, that she decided that she's willing to sacrifice her relationship with Remy for Magneto. And to continue on with that point, to continue on to like the 90s thing, they built up so much shit when it came to that, where like that Rogue and Gambit dynamic, for them niggas to then kind of just assassinate it, and Rogue really doesn't. I don't feel like there's enough inner turmoil for Rogue to decide. Like, I don't understand why Rogue. I'm trying to word it properly. It's just like Rogue switches up on Gambit so quickly, and she's just okay with it. I understand she does have some sort of inner turmoil, but it's not a true inner turmoil. Like, I don't think she's really really painting with his decision to do that. Like, it's like she just really like, God, they wrote it so bad. Like they wrote that dynamic so wrong. And then just overall, like from the themes to the depth, like just so many, like there's so many problems with the way that dynamic was written. And for it to end up meaning nothing, and for it to end up having no real kind of perspective is being drawn on it, kind of disappoints me, because it's like, you Rogue is such a complex character and you could have did so much with her character, but instead we got sort of a surface level a surface level depiction of her loneliness and her longing for emotion. I mean, for connection. You know what I'm saying? And my last critique of the first half of this of season of my last critique of season one is there's this like weird writing moment when Xavier comes back. Like from the first half until pre-Xavier, it's very obvious that one, Magneto is trying. They know Magneto is trying. They're even Scott is warming up to Magneto after, especially after his trial. Everyone's warming up to Magneto, and what happened. Then Genosha happens. The full on like the extermination happens. They're with Magneto. Magneto Loki dies. Everyone feels bad for Magneto. Bastion is revealed to have been behind the string, pulling the strings, along with a couple other secret people have been exposed for pulling the strings of what's going on. But yet, when Charles comes back, it's like everyone gets amnesia, and they instantly just start hate farming Magneto as if Magneto is the villain. And I don't like it just is just so out of place because we've watched not only Magneto grow, we watched all the characters grow. And it's like, yes, he did turn off the magnetism, which is a big thing, but I don't they weren't it's like they were equating that to like he caused every problem. If you didn't put Magneto in charge, the genocide on Genosha wouldn't happen. If you didn't put Magneto in charge, Storm would have lost her powers. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so strange because it's like I feel like they kind of rushed like they needed basically the writers needed a reason to get Magneto to be a villain, and so they rushed they rushed the reasoning. They rushed what happened, and I mean they rushed to find a way to villainize Magneto, which I didn't really find because I feel like those were better ways to do it. It just felt really out of place. But yeah, overall, season one is a truly just some of the best superhero media in the world, like in the game, in the history of the game, especially animated specifically, but even just overall, just great superhero media. There's just so much goodness about season one that I'm actually gonna get into a little bit more when we do the overall review of the TV show. But I just want to really just like really tip my hat off to how like season one is such a quality TV show. I cannot complain. I cannot critique at all. I really just overall, I mean, already can't complain, I can't critique, but you know what I mean. Like, I really have so much respect and so much appreciation for season one of X-Men 97 because it just feels like you guys they just filled it with so much love, and it's like this was just a great way to really pivot, um, to really shine some light on superhero on X-Men specifically. Because X-Men in the last couple of years has just been in the dump, so it was really nice to just watch and enjoy. Like, I really enjoyed season one. Now season two. This is gonna sound bad. I don't think I have any. Okay, let me not go that far. The one thing I'll give season two is that season two, the first three episodes of season two are pretty good. They aren't on the level of season one episodes and season one's run, but it's still good enough to where I was intrigued enough to keep going. There were some great dialogue moments. Um, but overall, like it was just smooth. After season like episode, I feel like episode three, episode four, this show takes a dramatic, and I mean a ridiculously writing like fall off. Like it did fucking it takes the worst downturn I've ever seen in my goddamn life. It is really bad. Like I did not enjoy the rest of the season two. I'm sorry to already jump into it. That was my only real praise. That like some of it was a cool line. Apocalypse was pretty cool, pretty scary. Has some cool lines. Other than that, I have no praise for season two. I did not. I was yeah. First things first, I understand. I understand. Yes, I understand. The writer he got kicked off. He was a weirdo. He was doing inappropriate things. He was a predator. He was a pervert. I completely respect the decision to remove him. But for you guys to replace him with the What If directors, as if the What If writers aren't fucking terrible, really disappoints me. And I'm terrified for this show. I don't think it's gonna last any longer in terms of quality. I think that the best we'll ever get is season one. I'm sorry to just go off like this. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Man, the pacing. Oh my god, the pacing of season two is really bad. It's just like it jumps around. There's no cohesive like the villain, the payoff. I'm gonna say if I feel like jumping into specifics of a moment, I probably will. But I just want to jump off and name everything first so I don't forget. The villain payoff is the biggest thing that really disappointed me. Seeing like even like really watching the 90s TV show, watching the end of last season where Apocalypse is being built up, Just watching Apocalypse, like knowing how big and how scary and how powerful Apocalypse is, even not even just that, like the beginning half of this show, the first 4 episodes of the show, and watching Apocalypse have the amount of aura and swag and just imbue so much fear and put so much fear in these niggas' hearts for his final episode to just be like, oh, I'm evil Gambit, I'm Gambit, but with a weird build, yay. And that nigga gets one tap by fucking Rogue, who now has the power of a Celestial, which is fucking ass. It's just really like, yeah, I guess, like, cool. Like that shit was so trash. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, and when I found out that the original concept was for Orange to be the one to take out Apocalypse, makes me even more angry because that is 10 times the better decision than having Rogue just become the strongest character of all time and be able to one tap Apocalypse for no reason. It's stupid. And because first of all, you get a better build up because this goes back to even the last couple episodes of last season where Xavier warns the X-Men that this could cause ramifications with him digging in Magneto's mind. And Onslaught is a combination of Xavier and Magneto's psyche battling against each other, plus evil thoughts that were combined due to Cassandra messing with his head. So it's like you have the build up since season one. You have a stronger character that actually fits more with the X-Men lore, and then you get a more interesting fight scene than what we got. And lastly, it flows better because now we have a villain that we can walk ourselves into for the next season, and it just feels more earned than what we got, which is just bullshit. And don't even get me started on Kirk's death. I swear to God, I hate season two of this show. This show is just so ass now. Fuck the what if writers. Fuck season two of X-Men 97. God bless. It's not very. There's not much memorabilia. This season is not very memorable from a like in terms of scenery, in terms of action set pieces. I mean action moments, in terms of dialogue. I'm not gonna act like like I said, the first 4 episodes. Apocalypse has some banger lines, but after that, shit gets ass really quickly. But there's a difference between paying homage, giving references, and just really following your source material and really just doing Easter eggs. Like season one does that really well. There's another problem when you get a checklist and you write off top 10 coolest X-Men moments. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Let's put this in episode one, put this in episode six, put this in episode five, put this in episode four. Bam, we got the season. It felt like they prioritized homage and references over a cohesive story, an actually entertaining slash cohesive story, and you can truly feel it. Post the apocalypse beating Apocalypse the first time, I mean Apocalypse beating the first time. Every single episode after just feels like a solo one-off for each per character or whatever. And if it's not a solo one-off, it's some sort of comic reference episode based around some comic run from like the 2000s or like the 1970s that was like, oh yeah, haha, I get it, that's why it's so cool. It doesn't feel like it was really like matter, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't it just felt like all filler. It just felt like filler to me. I didn't really enjoy that at all. There was another really weird moment. It was not only just it was just like an overall writing moment, which was when Cable kills Gambit. The reaction from the X-Men, like not even just Charles Xavier, like the reaction from the X-Men is just so weird. Like the from our animation standpoint, voice acting standpoint, it's like y'all best friend, like y'all guy just died again, and no one really reacted. It was just like, what have you done? Like no one. The entire team comes and see Gambit on the floor, and not a single person goes to like punch Cable in the face. It was really weird. It was really weird. Like yeah, y'all can call that shock if y'all want, but I don't know. I wasn't really fucking with that. You can't. Okay, so it's one thing if you decide to go the 90s way, go the regular cartoon way, is where you create a show, it low-key has like an anthology vibe, like every episode is in its own pocket, right? The 90s series does a really good job of balancing it. Sometimes they do arcs where show like this the plot has an overarching theme for a couple episodes, and then they just do strictly like some episodes just don't matter. It's just like fun character development, character growth, character moments and shit. Season one sets the precedent at a very high level, which is we're going to do both, but we're going to do 90% narrative driven and then we're going to do 10% character work, right? You can't set that precedent. You can't do it at some of the like the greatest level ever. And in the next season, it's a change up without really notifying, without really like setting, like doing it well enough to where the change is okay. The fact that the plot is so ass, like the fact that these episodes aren't really fun, they don't really mesh well together, they aren't good enough, I feel like, to be just individual standalone episodes. It's like, why didn't y'all just make a cohesive season? You know what I'm saying? It really just fuck with the tone and overall feeling of the show. I'm not gonna lie. Matter of fact, no, I have one more problem. And maybe this one is just me being a fucking loser. But again, to reference the 90s cartoon again, Morph gets taken out in like season one due to a sentinel. Wolverine goes like literally spends his entire series, like entire life on this series, traveling the world, doing his best, trying to bring Morph back from being like fucked up. Like Wolverine loves Morph. Now, whether you want to call that a romantic or platonic relationship, it's on you. I'm okay with either one. Regardless, Wolverine has like that is one of his most important relationships ever. Just strictly from the show itself, she really does care about Morph, right? Especially when Morph turns evil. He's trying his hardest to really get this nigga to like, you know what I'm saying, lock in. And if for you to tell me that Wolverine, like when he gets adamantium back and he's being mind controlled, Morph isn't able to turn Wolverine back to normal, and he has to turn into Jean. I'm not buying that shit. I'm not buying it at all. And at the end of the day, someone made there's like a great point, like obviously a great point to argue is, well, just like this, that was just a great representation of just because you care about someone or have these emotions for someone doesn't mean they gotta have them back. But that only works if we see that, and that like that only works if we didn't see the fact that Wolverine has strong, heavy love for Morph. He like Morph is his guy, bro. So it's really weird that they decide to write Wolverine not being able to truly like he can't stop himself from really hurting Morph. He cannot stop himself from trying to kill Morph. It's weird to me. I did not fuck with that. Yeah, but overall, this was overall X-Men 97. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really confident going into season three, especially with the what if writers. I'm not like their shit, they're really bad. I'm not confident in the what if writers being able to just really like lock in and then come in for a season three. I'm hoping, maybe fingers crossed. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the show continues to kind of get a downfall in sort of in its writing department and just overall just quality. Which is but I'm really sad about it because season one of like X-Men had the keys to just really like change the game. You know what I'm saying? Really change the game. Like it like the what it was doing for the X-Men, the PR of the X-Men is crazy to me, bro. It was doing some crazy PR, and now it's just gonna feel like it feels like Derrick Rose all over again. Like this could have been so much. It could have been, all I can say about the show is what could have been. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, if the season three is a banger, I will come back and eat my words. But overall, I just have a very sad feeling, a sad perspective over season two because it's like, damn, season one was just really high quality and just really good, man. Like, mm. But other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching. Leia, stay safe. Oh, I forgot to rate. Season one, I give a 9.4 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. And season two, I give a 6 out of 10. Just yeah, overall, I didn't enjoy the show, season two, but yeah.